Greetings, blessings, much love to you all. Welcome to Nanabe's Kitchen. I know you all are hard workers, and yet you find time to spend with me here in this kitchen, so I appreciate you for clicking. I am a hard worker as well, and most times when I want to reward my hard work, banku and okra stew is the route I always take. So let's begin. I am starting with some beef shank, and that's beef tendon, also known as intintin in tree. I'm adding some beef tripe to it as well. And the aromatics are onions, garlic paste, ginger paste, some habanero chilies chopped finely. I also add some crushed black pepper followed by salt. And I love to season my meat on this early stage very generously. The last thing that went in is my all-purpose seasoning, very similar to your bouillons. So make sure you add bouillon for that umami. And so I stir it together to combine and place it on the stove on medium heat. Cover the pot and allow it to cook for the next 20 to 25 minutes. What we are attempting to do is to force those aromatics into the meat and also tenderize. And we'll need the following ingredients as part of the base of the stew. So we need these green chilies, some scotch bonnets, garlic, ginger, and some onions. We're also going to add some inkitin, which is aniseed. Blend to your preferred texture. I am going for chunkiness. And these ingredients are actually powerful aromatics, and they are everyday ingredients available to you anytime. The green chili I use there mimics the flavor of papushito or Pettie bell, which I don't have. So it'll be a great substitute if you have it. I have blended my bell pepper and tomatoes. We also need some spinach chopped up and washed nicely. We are also going to need our lady fingers, also known as okra. Now to test and make sure that your fresh okra are tender and devoid of woody strands, just take it and break the tail or the tip off, and if it breaks easily or it gives you a clean, crisp snap, then it's fresh and perfect. And now our beef has been cooking for the past 38 minutes. And the beef tendon is almost there with the tenderness I'm looking for, which is when it has a tender chew to it without being melty. All right. Now the beef tendon I added for two specific reasons. One, for health reasons, because it is rich in collagen, which is important for bone health, for skin health, and it's also anti-aging. I also added it for the texture it's going to offer, which replaces wile if you don't have wile, which is the same as cowhide or pomo, or also kewuro. I know the tree people call it kewuro. So let's start cooking our okra stew base. So in a separate pot, I add some palm oil and momone, which is fermented and cured fish. I allow that to disintegrate, which in turn perfumes the oil before I add my thinly sliced onions. Now the onions I'm going to continue to cook for approximately 1 minute or until they become translucent. And next I add my green chili, scotch bonnet, onion, garlic, ginger mixture from the beginning. And I'm going to actually cook this down until the moisture in it is gone, completely cooked out. Now the aroma this thing exudes while it fries literally waters the mouth. So continue to fry. That should take about 5 to 6 minutes. Then we're going to add our tomatoes, the crushed tomatoes with the red bell pepper next. Now we are essentially preparing a stew base for our okra stew, and tomatoes are required for this recipe. Now the bell pepper is an optional ingredient that I added for sweetness. Now it is time to add some salt, and at this stage you want to actually under season because you're keeping in mind that your meat was over seasoned. All right, so stir that in and continue to cook to evaporate the moisture from the tomato and the bell pepper. It's also a good time, once that has happened, the evaporation of the moisture, to add your smoked fish. The smoked fish is also optional, but if you have access to it, please add it because it brings a real good depth of flavor that you will enjoy. That smokiness is to live for. Now here is how I prep my okra. I take the head off and use my paring knife to make a slit to half it and then quarter it, and I start chopping away as finely as I can. And I had a lot of okra to prep. So along the way, I just got tired of all that. So I took my food processor. So that's another way. Just cut the head off and cut them into big chunks. Place in the food processor. Give it a few pulses and stop pulsing as soon as you reach your preferred texture. I'm going for chunkiness at this stage. Now you notice it's a lot less chunkier than the one I actually chopped manually. Now this third batch I processed a little longer to get almost like a paste. All right, so it's finer, and that was done on purpose because when you process your okra this way, you get more slime, and we must have the slime, so I go for it. Now it is time to combine the stew base with the beef, including the broth. So pour it all in there and rinse the pot you cooked your beef in with just a little bit of water and add that as well. Now you want to stir everything together so it is well combined. And at this stage, we're going to add our delicates, which is the seafood that brings the serve part into the pot. So first I add the crabs, and these are blue crabs, thoroughly cleaned, and all those pointy edges have been trimmed off. If you are interested in learning how I clean my blue crabs, please drop a comment. These were fresh, so they were live when I got them. And there's a way to clean them. Let me know if you want to know how to clean your blue crabs. I will be happy to share a video with you. So in a separate pot, again, I pour some water. Actually, the same pot I cooked the beef in, I have just washed it out. And I poured some water in there to bring it to a boil. That's how we're going to cook our okra. I've also added another delicate, which is my prawns. These have been deveined and they are devoid of their shell, except the tail is still on for presentation. And once the shrimp go in, we want to be hasty with the rest of the cooking because nobody likes the texture of rubbery shrimp. When they're overcooked, they become rubbery. Nobody likes that. Now you see how I have moved everything aside, creating some space right in the middle of the pot, which has collected a lot of that flavorful broth. Now I have inserted my croaker fish and also my mackerel. Next important move is to submerge the fish into the broth and allow it to cook for the next 5 minutes. Cover the pot, that will help it to cook through a lot faster. And now the pot of water has come to a boil. So add about 1/6 of a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and then immediately go ahead and add the okra to it. I start with the finely processed one just because that has a little more slime to offer. So I let that come to a gentle simmer, and then I go in with my ladle and start giving it a whipping. All right, add the rest of the okra and also the spinach and fold everything in. We are cooking on medium heat as well here, okay? So once you fold everything in, it is combined, you can take it off of the range. We don't need to overcook it either here, all right? Perfect. You see that slime? So good to you. So good. Full of powerful nutrients. Now our fish, cooked through. take them out, please, because we are going to be doing some vigorous stirring to combine the two components. And these fish will not be able to withstand all of that stirring, so take it out. Please set it aside for now. The okra is ready. Just look at that. Stunning. See how vibrant the green is? Just exactly what I wanted. So pour it into the stew base. This makes me happy, friends. If you're enjoying yourself, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, now's the time. Click on that like button to help this video to go far. All right? And kindly share the video as well. I read every comment that comes through, so drop one or two or three. Hey, I'll read them all. All right, so this is looking really good. What do you think? Drop a comment. Let me know. It is looking so good. The oil we started cooking with is going to eventually resurface. And now we are adding the fish. Imagine all that vigorous stirring. If the fish was in there, it would have just scattered all over the place to where it's not even noticeable in the stew. We're done, friends. Yes, the okra is slightly cooked, and we want it to be al dente, so it has a little crunch to it. Now, let us prepare some banku. And I wanted this banku to be as healthy as possible so I can have a guilt-free experience with enjoying this comfort food. So I added some cauliflower to my blender, and then I also added my homemade banku mix. Now I'm adding some water to it, and I've also thrown in a little bit of salt. Just a pinch. We're going to blend it together till we have a smooth, silky smooth puree. Pour it into the pot. You're going to cook it and begin cooking. Stirring constantly with a pot on medium to low heat until everything cooks and comes together to form this stretchy, sticky mass. Just like so. You also want to clean the sides of your pot as you cook. Incorporate the cleaned sides into the banku so you don't have any waste. It is done cooking, friends. I have a detailed video on how I make my banku, regular banku, or the cauliflower banku. Now, in the cauliflower banku detailed video, I used a different binder, not the banku mix as I did here today. I actually used oatmeal and sauerkraut to give it that sour taste. Now, you can substitute the sauerkraut with white vinegar, distilled vinegar, to get that sour taste. And there you have it. I am throwing in some sliced onions and chopped green bell pepper into the okra stew to introduce freshness and crunch before we serve. I am truly going to reward myself with this bowl of soup, and I deserve it, friends. I have not been well. I have been working so hard, and I got sick from all of that stress from work, and so this is a really good way to reward all that hard work. Friends, don't work too hard. Yeah, take a break when you need it. All right, your body will tell you, or just don't get to that point. It's not worth it. All right, so friends, I hope you learned a thing or two and are inspired to try the recipe. Make it a great day and have fun, especially in that kitchen. Thank you, beautiful person, for watching the video all the way to the end. Kindly leave me a comment and subscribe down below. And don't forget to share the video as well. Also, watch more videos. It is chop time, and here in Anaba's kitchen, chop time is always yes, friends. So pull up a chair. We are all friends and family here.